not in the slightest bit developed on a new engine, or from the ground up. This is a slightly tweaked Forza Tech engine, which somehow looks worse. Now, before the straw man comes in that graphics don't matter, you're right, they don't. But when you market and advertise a game that is entirely from the ground up and show off a product that looks like this, when in reality it looks like this, it is blatant and undeniable lying and untruthful marketing to your customers. The most prominent example of downgrades, and not just on the visual front, would be the cars, and the question of if Turn 10 still views the automobile as art.
Your story could travel back to a fishing village in Norway. Or if you're lucky, you might match with a new relative here today. Give the gift of discovery with Ancestry DNA. Now just $85.
Never used to believe in reincarnation. That is until I came back as a bin chicken.
What defines a car as art? Is it the car itself? Is it how it's portrayed? A mixture of both, perhaps? I'm a firm believer that cars in their purest form are art, and Turn 10 themselves once shared this mindset. Back in the days of Forza Motorsport 4, each car was painstakingly scanned and oogled over, and a select few had the special privilege of becoming museum pieces that you could admire and endlessly explore through AutoVista. In-depth engine, oil, tire, and mechanical specifications would be beautifully graphed for nerds like me. Jeremy Clarkson had some insightful commentary on all of the cars available. Doors and hoods could be opened, and your character model had the ability to recreate walking around, hopping in and starting up these rolling art forms. The AutoVista formula has evolved slowly since its inception in Forza Motorsport 4, spreading to every car in the game, but reducing a lot of the geek facts that I found myself missing. Forza Motorsport has turned what was once a way to celebrate automotive icons into the most watered down and disjointed attempt at this concept possible. When using Forza Motorsport's rendition of Forza Vista, you'll notice the shocking amount of features removed. You can no longer change your wheels or modify your car at all while in this mode. You can no longer start up your engine and rev your car. Hoods and trunks can only be opened on some vehicles, not all. Animations for hopping in and out of cars or to look at the engine bay have been removed for fade to blacks. You cannot move the camera freely in interiors. Must I go on? Hell, they've even renamed Forza Vista to View Car. This incessant and clinical removal of any ounce of soul, resulting in the most creativity devoid and corporate feeling Forza there has ever been. Yet for a game that I would describe as corporate, the cars themselves feel short of even amateur. This from the ground up multi-million-dollar title is still recycling car models from back in 2005, nearly 20 years ago. Cars which looked stunning in Horizon 5 even look like they'd been ripped from mobile games. I hate bringing up Gran Turismo 7 so often, but it is the benchmark in which Forza Motorsport has targeted, and this side-by-side demonstration of each game's graphical quality should be proof enough we are heading backwards. Graphical fidelity is not what I look forward to in games. I focus more on art style and presentation more than anything else in that vein. Yet even when it comes to this, Forza Motorsport can't hold a candle to its older siblings. To call this game dead would be an insult to death itself. Devoid of color, benumbing to gaze upon, blurry, uncharismatic foregrounds and backgrounds, Motorsport does its absolute hardest to make sure nothing stands out, as if ashamed of itself. And ashamed it should be. This car list is not only the smallest since Motorsport 5, but by far the most broken. The Alfa Giulietta has permanent Forza arrow from the dealership to the track. Cars are colored incorrectly, such as the 488 Pista only having parts of its iconic stripe. The XJ220S has red wheels. The AMG GT Black has white wheels. The F90 M5 looks like this. The McLaren 720S has a Bentley badge. The 458 Italia's wing is Bluetooth, and the 718 Cayman doesn't have a roof. If this is what from the ground up means, I'd like to see what Turn 10's ground was. The recycling bin? However, They managed to not only recycle this content, yet break it even more than its original state. And speaking of broken, the economy. I'm convinced they chose a randomizer for pricing these cars. Why? Well, no car costs more than $450,000. The Ferrari 250 GTO is cheaper than a Shelby GT500 or a Viper. The Carrera GT is cheaper than a GT3 RS. The Aston DB4 Zagato, an 8-figure car in real life, is cheaper than a BMW Z4. This is just nonsensical, and made far worse with this game's currency situation, which will cover when we get to the campaign segment. So this is the from the ground up quality over quantity approach that we're going for. Turn 10. This. Forza Motorsport 7 had nearly double this car list. The cars themselves looked better, the game itself looked better, we did not have this many bugs, and it still launched with more cars than its predecessor. It's common to hate on Motorsport 5, but at least Motorsport 5 was a revamp, replacing the game engine, car models with new ones, resetting the series to an all-new console generation. Motorsport 4 to 5 was at least visually and conceptually a step forwards. Yet now with the dawn of an even more powerful console generation, we face a game which looks worse than its predecessor running on 10-year-old hardware. Less visuals, less content, less cars, and absolutely zero soul. And we know for a damn fact this game is cutting cars from Forza Motorsport 7 and Forza Horizon 5 to simply extend the game's life further by having you come back to what you should have had since launch. Staples of Forza history here are missing. No Bugatti Veyron, no 2013 GT500, no Lamborghini Murcielago, no Nissan 370Z, no E92 M3, no 991 Turbo S, meaning that the most recent 911 Turbo in this game is from 1993. The only Pagani in this list is the Huayra BC. Hell, these lying snakes. In fact, this game is cutting cars from Forza Motorsport 7 and Forza Horizon 5 to simply extend the game's life further by having you come back to what you should have had since launch. Staples of Forza history here are missing. No Bugatti Veyron, no 2013 GT500, no Lamborghini Murcielago, no Nissan 370Z, no E92 M3, no 991 Turbo S, meaning that the most recent 911 Turbo in this game is from 1993. The only Pagani in this list is the Huayra BC. Hell, these lying snakes even said that they fixed the lighting on the Huracan, which that car isn't even in the game. You mungs. Forza Horizon 5's good DLC cars, such as the GR86, 2023 BMW M2, Ferrari 296, Huayra R, and plenty of others, have been cancelled to add in post-launch. Turn 10 even decided it was acceptable to make the Roush Racing Mustang from Forza Motorsport 6 a paid DLC car. Yes, they are charging you for content you had in the past. In that same car pack, they are charging you for GT3 cars which are years out of date. Oh, and that's day 1 DLC by the way. Hell, the less than 5 new cars in this game have already been added into Horizon 5, meaning that apart from race cars, you truly do not have anything new to look forward to. The only, and even this is a stretch, improvement of these cars from Motorsport 7 is the physics and tire model, yet even this has caveats. I expected for this ground-up redesign to have driving feel wildly different from Motorsports of old, and even if the rest of the game itself was a disaster, at least the core driving would be something solid to grasp onto, yet no. This feels like going from Motorsport 6 to 7. All of Motorsport's trademark flaws are still rampant.